Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Legend of Korra news update video, and we've got an interesting one today. Nick.com just recently put up a new feature on their site, link to a post in the description, but for the most part it's just 6 images that I'm going to show you here in the video. There's no real need to go to Nick.com to look this up, but yeah, basically what it is, it's official Legend of Korra family trees. And yeah, they basically go through the stuff we know, name a few characters we don't have names for, and at times reveal like just a character we hadn't heard of. But for a lot of them, there's also some stuff that's missing, and so that's what this video is going to be. I'm going to go through family tree by family tree, talking about the new names, new characters, what I think is missing and what they could add on to it, why certain names are missing, and why they're not revealing everything in this image. So yeah, let's start off with the Korra family tree, otherwise known as basically the kind of water tribe royal water tribe kind of royal family, kind of, in a way. So yeah, we basically, the only new reveal here is the name of Unalaq's wife / Eska and Desna's mother, and that name is, as you can see here, Melina. No picture for her. They obviously didn't need to design her, but she's confirmed to still be alive, because obviously Eska and Desna say to Korra, we see a scene where they basically say, what are we going to tell mother about what happened to their father? So that's interesting. But other than that, it's just to the point. Like they don't go into the future with any of these things. They just kind of stop it at where we are in Korra, so we don't get like a Korra family tree or the tree before Unalaq and Tonraq. Though that's kind of a character who potentially is missing, in that we do see Unalaq and Tonraq's father in book 2. Don't think we got a name, but maybe that's something they could have added onto, since the Korra tree is one of the smaller ones. But yeah, they don't do that, and they don't go crazy into explaining the whole water tribe family dynamics, and that, technically this is a northern family tree because Unalaq and Tonraq are from the north. Tonraq moved to the south, Sen is originally from the south, and stuff like that. So they don't go into explaining that Sen is actually related to this character or what. It's just to the point, as you can see. Next up, we have the Mach and Boleyn family tree, and yeah, some new reveals here. This is probably one where we get the most new names from. So straight up, we have Grandma Yin, and we find out that her husband, his name was Bohai, and obviously their sons are Chao and San. Chao, we knew his name already from the show. It was said at one point. I think the credits for episodes actually said his name. We also got the name of Mach and Boleyn's father, San, but we didn't get the name of the mother, who is now revealed to be Naoki or Naoki or something like that. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that one, but I'm going to go with Naoki. And yeah, pretty nice name. And obviously it's just the image from the kind of portrait that we got before. We get that Chao's wife is called Li Ling, who we didn't. I think looking back in book 3, you probably can see her in an episode, but you don't get to confirm that this character is his wife. And we knew that 2 was his son, but we didn't know about Chao Jr. or Meng Meng, even though I think Meng Meng was a name that was said. We didn't know who specifically Boleyn was talking about when it was said. So a couple of new names here, and obviously the little images of who these characters specifically are. That's interesting. And yeah, they don't bother to go into the whole cousins and stuff like that we see in that episode. Just the ones directly related to Mach and Boleyn. So that's interesting. Nothing, I suppose, crazy there. Not revealing any new massive connections. The Aang family tree, Aang/Katara family tree, also pretty interesting. Obviously, it focuses more on Aang's side than Katara's side than Sokka's. But I'll start with Aang, and yeah, just it's to the point. We know exactly basically who it is. Katara and Aang had Kayabumi, Tenzin and Pema had 4 kids. And yeah, apparently, as far as they're aware, Kayabumi don't have families of their own, unless they're just not important and we don't need to know about them. That's what they're telling us. Now, Sokka's side is blank, but That may not tell the whole story. I'm not really sure though. They could have left it blank on purpose, as I'm going to talk about in one of the later family trees. But yeah, we don't get any reveal about like Sokka and Suki. No connection there. No hint about him having kids or anything like that. But at the same time, it was never revealed what actually went on with Sokka. So my theory on why they're not telling us anything about Sokka is probably that the comics at some point are going to focus on Sokka and maybe explain who he did end up with or something like that. Because there have been hints that yeah, in a few comics' time, there's probably going to be a time skip, and they may end up revealing it there. So I think that's why it's blank. So it's blank because they're keeping stuff a secret rather than the fact that nothing happened with Sokka. He doesn't have any kids or get married. Next up is the Sato family tree, and it's very short. Just Hiroshi, his wife, and they have Asami. Now, the new name here is obviously the name of Asami's mother, whose name is Yasuko, or Yasuko, which is an interesting name, fitting, and not much else to say there. They're not revealing anything like Satoru from the comics is like related to Hiroshi here. It's just, this is the Sato family tree. So next up, Fire Nation Royal Family Tree, the most complicated one we see on this image pretty much, and yeah, fairly to the point. You see the kind of line of evil Fire Lords start to link in with the Roku's family line, and with Ozai and Ursa, which is obviously key to the Search comic. We've all known this before. We know about Sozin when his son is Azulon. We know Azulon's wife's name was Ila, or La, and that they had Iroh and Ozai. Iroh had Luten. Interesting that they don't reveal who Iroh's wife was / Luten's mother. Not really sure why, because unless it is some sort of a secret, I don't see why you wouldn't just give a name to that character. Like, why give Unalaq's wife, Malina, a name, but not Iroh's wife? It's really weird why they don't do that. And then we get the whole Roku Tommen family line. They have Rina, and she marries Jinzuk. They have Ursa. Ursa had kids with Ozai and also one with Iken, and you have the kind of two sides of the family tree there. Zuko, Azula, and Ki are the next generation, and yeah, they have Zuko, had Azumi then had Iroh, but the key thing here is obviously that they don't reveal who Zuko's wife was, who Azumi's mother is. Most people assume it's just Mei, and the reason I say that basically when I mentioned with Sokka that it may not be blank because nothing happened is Zuko here. We know he had to have Azumi with someone else, but there's no line with space for who that is. And I think the reason with Zuko that they're not revealing who his wife is / was is because they don't want to spoil the comics. Because the next comic series, Smoke and Shadow, starting towards the end of the year, is going to specifically address Zuko and Mei's relationship, and they don't want to spoil that. Oh, for sure, Azumi's mother is Mei, so they get back together. That spoils a lot of the drama surrounding the Smoke and Shadow series, so I assume that explains that. They also don't explain who Azumi's husband is, or if Iroh too has a family of his own. They're very careful to just, for the most part, keep it just to who's there. They don't explain if Azula ever had a family, because we didn't see her mentioned at all in Korra. And of course, Ki, we don't get any mention of either. But that would be really interesting to see what happens there. But again, the comics will explain, I assume, some of the Fire Nation history from then on out. Last up, we have the Beifong family tree. Now, we know a lot of these names. Basically, there's actually no new information here. We don't get an image of Kanto, and we don't get the name of who Sue's father is. And that's basically all anyone was wondering about. Now, this is an interesting thing for me. Why did they specifically put a point on the family tree just to lead to an unknown, and not say for Zuko in the previous family tree, put one of those boxes to say unknown for who his wife is, and all the other characters that I mentioned? Why did they specifically say that Sue's father is an unknown? I have no idea. Now, this is really weird to me that, you know, they didn't seem to make a big deal about who Sue's father was, that it's like, oh, we can't say anything. It seemed to be the mystery that who Kanto was, and it turned out that he was just a random guy. So unless there's some huge story to be told with who Sue's father is, I have no idea what's going on and why they're keeping it a mystery. But other than that, we know about Lao, Poppy from the comics and Avatar: The Last Airbender. Lin obviously doesn't have a family, and yeah, they're not going into the future with the family tree that way. But yeah, they're all the family trees that we get here. Very interesting overall, I would say, just that they actually did this, and they definitely got their facts right for the most part. It is just interesting what they've decided to include in terms of revealing new stuff and what they've decided to leave out. Like, they've included comic characters here, but they haven't mentioned some of the other stuff. Like, when you say, I'm going to show you the family trees of all the core characters, there are a few things that you really want to, that at least for me, I was looking for. I was like, are they going to reveal who Zuko's wife is? Are they going to reveal anything about Azula, Sokka, or anything like that? But no, they don't do that. But very interested to know what your thoughts are on these family trees in the comments below. But yeah, that's all the news there is for this video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and bye.